Warning! The opinions on this podcast are of the hosts and guests only, and may contain childish humor. Listen at your own discretion. And now, please adjust your headphone volumes to an unreasonable level and prepare to enjoy the most dynamic and electrifying podcast that cyberspace has encountered.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sports Bliss
with Rob
and Chris. Thank you guys for returning, and subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already. And you can check us out on Instagram and Facebook, both at Sports Bliss with Rob and Chris.
So what do we have on tap today?
Okay, so I want to talk about the coronavirus.
Okay.
And how it's affecting sports still, and how are sports going to restart?
Yeah, there's been a lot of news.
There's a lot going on. But before we jump into that, we got an interesting message on our voicemail.
Yeah?
That I want you to hear from Josh.
Oh, a listener.
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to play it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So much to say. I'll try to keep it short. First of all, please stop with the marching music. The best part of my roommate moving out was when I didn't have to listen to that Gators anymore. That's number one. Number two, Rob, are you prescribing yourself opioids? Because to put Magic Johnson above the greatest, Larry Bird, or the GOAT, Michael Jordan, you have to be high on something. Like, literally. How do you figure? Like, really, how do you figure? What are you basing this on?
You know what I have to say to that, Josh?
Yes! Get up and go! We will never stop playing that music, just so you know.
Yeah, so he's calling out your Gators. He's calling out your Gators for that.
It's okay. We got a lot of haters.
I think he's an FSU fan.
It's okay. Listen, I am a born and raised Gator. We deal with a lot of haters, so it's all good. Keep on hating. I love it. It makes me go more.
I know, like a true Gator fan, as long as you get a reaction, you're happy.
It's true.
Yeah, so did you hear that second part, though?
Okay, so you must be high because you're basically saying that
Because
Magic Johnson is better than Michael Jordan.
Yeah, and this isn't like out in left field. I mean, come on. Magic Johnson's one of the greatest of all times. So, here you go, Josh. I'll give you some little facts about Magic Johnson.
Uh-oh,
okay?
Watch out.
All right. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? I'm not going to bash Jordan in this, by the way. I'm going to be positive because I love Jordan.
I love Michael Jordan.
Okay.
I love Larry Bird, too.
Magic Johnson. Well, first off, Larry Bird cannot even be in the conversation of
Why?
the greatest of all time. Come on, he's good, but he's no Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan, first off.
Yeah, how he throws them bows.
Yeah, he may be the best fighter of all times. But not...
He can scrap, for
yeah,
sure.
he can scrap. If I had a fight, I would pick Larry Bird.
Sure
If
enough.
I had to go to a fight. Okay, so Magic Johnson won 5 championships. He's only one behind Michael, and he played in 9.
Okay.
He played in 9, okay? He averaged 22.5 points, 12 assists, and 6 rebounds in 2 different years.
Whoa.
The only player to ever do that,
That's crazy.
okay? He's one of 4 players to win an NCAA championship and an NBA championship.
Okay.
He's one of 6 players to record triple doubles in the NBA Finals. Jordan wasn't on there. He's one of 4 players to record a triple double in his first playoff appearance. And he was a rookie. Michael Jordan never did that. He was one of 2 players to have 20 plus assists in more than 30 games. The only other person to do that was John Stockton. Magic Johnson had 32 like his number, and Stockton had 30. He's the only player in NBA history to win the NBA Finals MVP as a rookie. Is that enough for you, Josh? I hope it is. And in 1991 in the playoffs, he led the league in total minutes, three-pointers made, free throws made, defensive rebounds, and assists. He was a much better all-around player than Jordan. Jordan's the greatest scorer of all time. But we're not saying who's the best scorer or who sold the most sneakers. We're saying who's the best basketball player.
Okay, well, we're just going to agree to disagree.
That's what I say to Magic Johnson right there. Okay, so I think we can go around in circles about who's the greatest of all time. And it's really hard to debate different decades and different time periods, you know. But who's your favorite basketball player?
Of all time?
Yeah, your favorite basketball player. They don't have to be the best.
I mean, my first thought is always Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Because that's who I grew up watching.
Yeah, and
you know? So but then when I think about my favorite basketball player, I love Steph Curry.
Oh, he's great. I love him.
So greatest of all time to me, definitely Michael Jordan.
Okay.
My favorite, Steph Curry, hands down.
Yeah, not Aaron.
Listen, I mean, I love Aaron Gordon, but he's just not doing it for me anymore.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? He has so much talent and so much potential, but he's kind of reached his point where his threshold where he's not going to be getting any better.
Yeah, he should have already taken it to the next level, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's been how many years has he been in? 5-6 years now?
Yeah.
So, and he's still kind of playing at the same level. So, yeah, all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've had favorite players over the years, and they're not necessarily the best. You know, I loved Larry Johnson back in the day because he was just so bruising. I loved those bad boys, the Bill Laimbeer and Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman's one of my favorite players, too.
Dennis Rodman, for sure.
Oh, my gosh. You know, and he could have averaged a lot of points, but he just chose not to. He averaged almost 30 points a game in college.
Yeah.
And he went to the NBA, and basically he figured out that if he rebounded and blocked shots and played defense, he would be in the league a long time, and he was right. And so he didn't even try to score.
Yeah.
You know? I think he kind of took it as how many rebounds can I get and not even score?
Right.
It's pretty amazing. So you want to hear some updates about how the corona is affecting sports?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I thought, there was a lot of information coming out about college football. So let's start there because we love college football. We can't wait for it. So first of all, Mark Emmert, he's the president of the NCAA. Okay, so he oversees the NCAA. He came out and he said after talking to all these presidents and conference commissioners and everybody, the general consensus upon everyone was that if there weren't students on campus in the fall, there would be no sports.
Right.
And everybody attacked him. Everybody started attacking this guy. He's not a commissioner. He doesn't rule on this stuff. He doesn't tell colleges when to start, when not to.
Right.
He's just gathering the information from all of the schools. Right. And regurgitating it out to the world. So he says this. So then, in as support of it, the California State University System chancellor, he came out and said that they think they're going to basically only have online classes.
Okay.
And some of the universities jumped in and said, no, we're going to have other classes too.
That's up north.
In California.
Right. Oh, in California. Okay.
And some of the presidents and different people jumped in and said, no, we're going to have classes, but the classes they're talking about are labs and things that you actually physically have to be there for.
Right.
And basically all the other classes are going to be online. Well, with that said, basically Mark Emmert, the NCAA president, said, well, if it's not safe for normal students to come to campus, why would you have athletes there? What's the difference? And so everybody jumps on this. And so then Paul Feinbaum comes in.
Okay.
Old Skeletor himself, right?
Okay.
Let me play this clip for him real quick, okay?
Including Regent Hsu, that the Power Five should break away from the NCAA. It's not easy to do, and it won't happen immediately, but I think the fissures are there, and down the road, I think you could see that.
So that was a clip from this interview that he had on ESPN.
Okay.
And basically what they were talking about is this regent, which is someone is on the board of regents for Minnesota, for all the colleges in Minnesota, came out and said, oh, well, the way it's looking now, we're just going to break away from the NCAA. people don't want to do things, they don't want to cooperate, we're just going to break away and do our own thing. So it started this chain reaction of people saying this, and University of Minnesota actually came out and said, no, we have no intentions of breaking away from the NCAA.
Right.
But Paul Feinbaum took it a step further, and he said, oh, all the commissioners of the 5 major conferences are all upset, and they are all just going to break away from the NCAA and develop a new league for themselves. And I'm like, whoa. I've heard this about the SEC, right?
Right. Which we were talking about that.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while. And I can kind of believe it with the SEC, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But when are you ever going to get 5 conference commissioners to agree upon anything in college football?
Yeah, that's pretty
They don't agree.
rare.
The only thing they'll agree upon is counting their money.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so secondly, if you develop one league, you only need one commissioner. So all those guys are going to lose their jobs, right?
Right.
You don't need a commissioner for each league.
No.
And then why would you put that many teams in a league? You're not going to want to put the Big 12, the Big 10, the ACC, the SEC all in one conference. No disrespect to any of these schools, but why do you want Wake Forest? Why do you want Vanderbilt? Why do you want Kansas State or Kansas to play football?
Yeah.
They're bottom feeders. So more realistically, if anyone breaks away, it's going to be the SEC. Do you think Georgia really wants to pay Vanderbilt?
No.
No, they don't want to share the money.
No, they could care less.
Florida doesn't either. So the top tier teams in each of those conferences may be cherry picked out. You don't want all those bottom feeders, right?
Right.
And so the other message is for the last several years, all these conference commissioners and the universities of all these schools have said, we don't want to pay players. So why are they going to do a 180 now and say they want to pay all the players? It's going to be chaos.
Yeah.
And then how are you going to govern the rules?
It already seems like chaos as of now.
And what I haven't heard anyone talk about is, okay, so now if you take, say, the best 8 teams or 7 teams from the SEC, right? And then you take Ohio State and you take Penn State and you take Oklahoma and Texas and Clemson. You take these different teams and pull them in, right? They now all have to buy out their media rights contracts with their current conferences.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. That's a lot of money. So they're going to wait until their contract expires, which is, I don't know when it is. For the ACC, I think it's well into the 2020s. I think for the SEC, it's 2023. But this is going to really complicate things, and they just can't break away from it. So I don't know. I think it's easily said, oh, just go and do it.
Right.
But to make it really happen, it's not going to happen. So I think at some point the NCAA should say, okay, go do it. Be my guest. You try to do it on your own.
Oh, we will do it on our own. For sure.
I think the SEC might be able to do it if they don't bring anyone else in. But then are they going to kick out the bottom feeders or take everybody along with them?
No, they won't take everybody with them.
Yeah, so then they're going to be in a legal battle with those other schools because they either have to pay them out an exit fee to get out of the SEC,
yeah,
which is a lot of money. And maybe the money's worth it to get out,
right?
But I don't know.
Who really knows?
Yeah, it'll be very, very complicated.
This is all speculation, too.
My point is it's just much more complicated than people think.
But they're making it more complicated. It doesn't have to be this complicated.
No, definitely. And then what they do is they blame Mark Emmert. He's the president of the NCAA, saying he's the bad guy and the NCAA is the bad guy, when all the colleges and universities are the ones that make the rules. The NCAA doesn't. They just enforce them.
Right.
That's it.
But why wouldn't schools want to start back in the fall?
Well, they do. That's the real thing. All these schools, even UCF released an announcement, I think it was yesterday, of their plan of opening up the school again. And they have kind of a 3-tier plan, where they'll be like normal.
Yeah, but that's not until August. Like
the
end of August.
No, but they got to start planning, right? So they have a plan if they totally open. They have a plan if they do partial online scaled down classes. So they do like a small mix, or they do just totally online. They don't want the totally online, not just for sports, but why would they not want online? Okay, so when you register for a class, right,
yeah.
What do you get? You get to go to the class, you get to see the teacher, you get to be there in person, have college life.
Isn't it like the whole college experience too?
Oh, definitely. And so, a college credit can be anywhere. We'll just do an average figure, $300 a credit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you take a 3-hour class or 3-credit class, that's $900, right?
Yeah.
If you're a parent of a student and you're paying that bill, and now all of a sudden little Billy is sitting in his room taking all his classes online, you think you're going to want to pay $900 a class?
Oh, no way.
You're going to be like, I should get some kind of discount, right?
I could teach you myself.
No, but it's a financial thing for the university. It's not just about sports. It's about actually their enrollment and about generating money.
Right.
And they don't want to mess up the system they have. They're charging a lot of money for you to go to school. But now if you can do it all online, you're going to expect a discount.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
For sure.
I mean, that's the real reason all these schools want to get started in August.
I don't see why they shouldn't, though.
I think they should.
If you're sick, stay home.
Yeah, I think maybe
I think that's all the bottom line.
Yeah, and maybe in certain...
Because Stone Cold said so.
I think in certain parts of the country, maybe it's not so smart to start, like New Jersey or something like that, where there's a ton of cases still. But who knows by August?
I mean, that's like, 3 months away?
Yeah, it's a ways away. It's a ways away.
Who knows what could happen? There'll be another plague by August. Watch.
The locusts are coming. So let's move along. MLS has announced that they're talking about bringing all the teams here.
Oh.
To finish their season.
Like staying at, like Disney?
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Because there's like 17 soccer fields there.
Disney has so much property.
It's set
insane.
up for this.
It's insane how much land Disney owns.
And it's kind of set up for all this.
It's probably the whole size. I was going to say the whole size of Orlando, but it's like about half the size of Orlando is Disney.
They're their own city.
Yeah.
It's huge. And they haven't even used a lot of the land. It's still just sitting there. But yeah, they're talking about it. So they're talking about, it hasn't been official yet, but they're talking June 1st to bring all the teams here to start practicing and then finish up the season.
Okay.
Because they didn't even really get started, right? They canceled it. So they're talking about restarting it. NASCAR. They're beating everybody back. They're starting this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're starting this weekend.
So get your beers, get your hats.
Get your chew. But they're starting this Sunday at Darlington. So they're going to start racing this weekend. But this is the interesting part for me. And I think they can control it pretty well. There's only the pit crews. There aren't going to be any fans there. They're going to test everybody, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And they're sitting in their car. I mean, they're only around their own team.
They're just driving, yeah.
Yeah, they're only around their own team. So it's
Who are 7, 8 people? I don't know how many people are in a pit crew.
Yeah, but it's going to be very limited how many they have there, the bare minimum that they need.
Okay.
But this is the crazy part to me. They're trying to make up all the races they missed. So they were talking about doing something like 7 races in 11 days.
That's insane.
I think it's insane because...
Is that safe?
Well, that's what I thought.
To drive all of that?
Well, that's what I thought because all these guys always talk about how physically demanding it is to do this.
Yeah.
That it really takes a wear on their body. Plus, now you're going to have to already have you're not going to have as many of your cars there. They have backup cars and all this kind of stuff, right?
Sure.
And so... if you're doing this many races in between, it isn't like you keep moving your cars from place to place every 2 days.
Right.
You got to have some cars here ahead of time and then move to the next one and this. So you're not going to have your whole thing. So what if your car's not totally up to the way you want it, right?
Extremely dangerous and extremely stupid.
Yeah. And then are you going to tell your driver, hey, listen, we know we're not totally optimized. So, hey, just go out there and take it easy. Just drive around. Don't crash. Be careful. Because we need these sponsors on the TV, right?
But it's not about the driver crashing. I mean, they're going so fast, you lose control of the car.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But if you're running these cars that often too, and you don't have time to make sure they're safe and all this, I mean, they're talking about coronavirus. I'm worried about these guys crashing into the walls or into other people.
Well, not even that. Didn't they talk about being in the car, they lose how much water do they lose and they get so dehydrated. Yeah. And if you're doing that back to back to back, I mean...
It's physically
It doesn't
demanding.
take a rocket science to determine that was a lie. No, I'm just kidding.
That they were trying to make their sport seem more physically demanding than it really is. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, though, how they do with the ratings, to see if other people tune in that aren't normally NASCAR fans, because we're not really NASCAR fans. I just thought it was an interesting story.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not planning on tuning in. But, to see if other people tune in just to see live sports. Because there are guys out there that want to bet on stuff. And they're going to want to bet on that. They'll bet on that.
They're itching to bet. They're tired of watching marble races.
Exactly. Those fixed marble races.
Or no, I saw that one meme. It was something like these guys were watching bowling and they're like, yeah. Like they're hyping it up like as if it were like a football game or basketball
Yeah, it was
game.
like before coronavirus. They were all just sitting there watching it. And then after coronavirus, they're all high-fiving and jumping around.
Exactly.
It was awesome. So finally, let's move to baseball.
Okay.
So it came out that the owners come back and ask the players for even more now. So they were asking the players to take a pay cut to only get paid for the games they're going to play. They're going to play a lot less games, right?
Right.
So then they came back and said, oh, listen, our revenue is going to be so down. We need to cut and do profit sharing, basically, with the players. And I think
Okay.
it was 48% for the players and 52% for the owners. Now the players are getting really upset. I heard one today say, listen, I'm not going to go out there and put myself at risk of getting injured for this amount of money.
Right.
So basically, it's almost a third or a fourth of what they would normally make is what they would make for the season. And they're like, well, why would I go out there and get hurt in a contract year or whatever? This is going to get interesting with baseball, I think. This is going to be the hardest one. Because basketball, they're all kind of falling in line. Like LeBron called a bunch of other guys, and they're on the same page of coming back and playing. They just want to make sure it's a good system.
Okay.
But the baseball guys, I think they're going to be difficult because the owners are trying to force them into a salary cap situation, and they don't have that in baseball right now, and they don't want it to go down that way because their collective bargaining agreement is up after next season, and they're going to have to renegotiate it. And if they agree to a salary cap right now, the owners are going to be like, hey, look, you did a salary cap now. There's nothing wrong with it. Let's just keep it going.
Right.
And they'll just argue over the percentage. But once you let that out of the bag, it's not going back in.
No.
So I think the players are going to take a hard stand here. And we may not see baseball, even though they keep flirting with it and saying they're doing it. I know.
Yeah.
And you don't really care.
I mean, I just find it like,
Millionaire problems.
yeah, like rich people problems. I'm going from 20 million to 6 million, you guys. I don't even know what to do with myself.
I'm not going to be able to support my family.
It's kind of disgusting to me.
Dak said that when he was offered $29 million. He's like, how am I going to support my family?
Disgusting.
So,
It's disgusting to me. Like, come on.
yeah.
Quit being so like.
And unless you saw something, I don't think he's signed yet. He's
Good.
He's franchise tagged, but he
Good.
hasn't signed yet.
He's going to be sitting on that couch, like I told you,
And Andy Dalton's going to swoop in.
watching the games.
Well, he's franchise tagged, so he's going to play, but we'll see how it all goes.
Okay, let's do some trivia. Since we are honoring Mike Inez's birthday yesterday, I thought it would be cool to keep it grunge style for your trivia.
I'm scared.
Are you ready? Just kidding. Okay, what 90s grunge band released its 9th studio album in 2013? Was it A, Soundgarden, B, Pearl Jam, or C, Mudhoney?
It's either going to be Mudhoney or Pearl Jam. And I want to say Pearl Jam.
Final answer?
Mudhoney.
Final answer?
Yeah.
It's Mudhoney, yeah.
Yes!
Tell me how I didn't know they were still around.
You know who's their bassist?
Who?
Your favorite, Chris Novoselic.
No.
Yep. He joined Mudhoney after Nirvana.
He did?
Unless I'm making this up.
I'm going to have to look that up later because I did not know that.
Yeah, he joined Mudhoney.
Not that it's going to sway me to go listen to Mudhoney.
Yeah, because
but-
everybody, there was all this talk after Nirvana broke up. He joined Mudhoney, and then Dave Grohl
Yeah, he
started this
started
whole
Foo Fighters,
project
yeah.
of his own called Foo Fighters, a little
Yeah.
band we might all know now. And everybody thought Dave Grohl was crazy.
Yes.
And they thought that Chris Novoselic, his band, was going to skyrocket because Mudhoney, I don't know, for some reason, everybody's always thought they were going to be big, but they never have been.
because they were supposed to be the Nirvana.
Yeah.
They
but
were supposed
never,
to be the it band. And let me tell you, I've heard their stuff. It ain't that good.
I know. I mean, I like them enough, but like, I
It's no
wouldn't.
Nirvana.
I know.
No.
It's none of those bands. It's not even a Foo Fighter. Come on.
No.
So,
That's a whole other discussion. I love Foo Fighters, love them so much, but I thought that move was kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
yeah,
You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Okay, let's wrap it up with a would you rather.
Let's do it.
Okay, would you rather be framed for a murder you didn't commit or frame your best friend for a murder you did commit? That's heavy right there.
That's real.
All I gotta
heavy.
say is if you're gonna commit a murder, I'm not surprised if you throw your friend under the bus.
Yeah, I think so.
Because
That
you
makes
have
sense.
you have no soul, right? So who
Yeah.
do you care? Like, what does it matter? Unless you're a battered wife, but then why would you throw your friend under the bus? I don't know if I could live with myself.
Yeah.
I couldn't live with myself either way.
I mean, are you convicted if you're framed? I mean,
it just says you're framed for murder. It doesn't say anything about you doing jail time. I don't know. I guess you can kind of.
yeah, but it sounds like you're in serious trouble. So it's
Yeah.
like you're going to go to jail and you're going to be
You're
there.
probably
going
gonna
to
be. You're
jail for
probably gonna
something.
be doing time in pound me in the ass prison, federal.
Totally. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think I would frame the friend.
For
'Cause
real?
Yeah, if I
That
could do
means-
murder, I mean,
that means you killed somebody and you're gonna blame your friend on it. Blame your friend that they did it.
oh yeah, because if I can murder someone, then I'm not a very good person.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you're gonna murder someone, I'm not surprised if you throw your friend under the bus because you have no soul.
Probably not going to think twice about it.
Probably not. I don't know. I'd probably choose death. Death row. I would ask for death
Row
row
Records?
because no, I would ask for death row because then you get the best treatment.
Yeah. You get better treatment than in
General
the
pop.
general pop.
No, ask for. I'll be like, listen, I'll be framed, but if I'm going down, I'm taking this guy down with me, whoever. So I'll frame somebody else too. Okay, this is going way
This is
too
real
far.
weird.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next time. Bye. See you later.
Thank you for listening to Sports Bliss with Rob and Chris. Available on Anchor.fm, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and everywhere else fine podcasts are found. Follow us on Instagram and leave voice comments at 407-494-6420. This has been a Sports Bliss with Rob and Chris production.